Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. So this is going to be a fun video today. Well, I think it's going to be fun. I am going to be talking about German baby names. I've got no idea if anyone else is interested in this topic, but I just, for some reason, love talking about baby names. So the other day I was just randomly Googling German baby names, as you do, and I found a list of the top 10 girls' names in Germany right now and the top 10 boys' names in Germany right now. And I was actually really surprised by the list. One of the things that really surprised me about this list of German baby names that are really popular right now is that they just didn't sound very German to me. I guess I was expecting names sort of more German, more like traditional German names, but these names were quite international names. Like most of these names could be easily used in any English-speaking country. Also, something that really surprised me about the list is that so many of these names, not all of them on the list, but so many of these popular names in Germany right now were really popular when I was growing up in New Zealand. I was born in 1985, which makes me 34, and I was at school during the 90s, and a lot of these names were just really trending at the time that I was like growing up in New Zealand, and it seems they've come back around in Germany. That actually makes me feel really old that these names have all come back and they're actually in the top 10 right now. So anyway, enough rambling, let me get into the top 10 German girls' names. So the first little girl's name that I was so happy to see on the top of the list is the name Emma. And so in New Zealand we say Emma, and I think in Britain it's pronounced more like Emma. But in Germany, I've got Google to help me out with the pronunciation in case I get it wrong. Emma. So it basically sounds the same. So the name Emma, that was just so huge, like it was so popular when I was growing up in New Zealand. I absolutely love the name Emma. I think it is a beautiful, classy, timeless name, and my grandmother was actually called Emma. Everyone called her Emily, but her real name was Emma. One of my best friends here is called Emma, and I can totally imagine a little baby like right now being called Emma. So I was really happy to see that name on the top 10, like the top of the list here in Germany. I'm going to try and get through the names as quickly as possible because there are like 20 names to get through. I'm going to do the boys' names as well. So the next German baby name, number 2 on the list, is Mia, and I think it is just beautiful. So in German they pronounce it Mia. So we say Mia, it sounds almost the same. So again, another very international name. This name can basically be pronounced correctly anywhere you go in the world. This name, I think it's quite a like modern, fresh sounding name. So I don't remember any Mias when I was growing up. This name is quite a trendy name, and we actually considered using this name for our little girl Emilia because I just love Mia, it's so sweet, but it sounded really like funny with our last name, so we couldn't use it. But I have seen a lot of little Mias running around in Germany, so I don't know how popular this name was like years ago in Germany. Right now it's huge, like there's so many Mias around. Okay, so the third most popular baby name in Germany right now is Hanna. And so this is how Google Translate pronounces it. Hanna. And in New Zealand we would pronounce it Hanna, so it's just a little bit different, but I would still consider this to be a very international name. This name can be used anywhere in the world and it still sounds beautiful. I actually have a very special soft spot for the name Hanna because that was my last name before I was married. I absolutely love the name. I think it's beautiful. You don't hear it much at all in New Zealand right now. You heard it a lot when I was growing up in New Zealand during the late 80s, early 90s, and in Germany it's just super popular right now. You hear a lot of little girls with the name Hanna. Okay, so the fourth most popular baby girl's name in Germany right now is Emilia. It is my little girl's name. I absolutely adore the name, and I was so sad to learn that it was number 4 in Germany. The reason I was so sad is because I don't want there to be like 10 other Emilias in my little girl's school. When I named her Emilia in 2013, it wasn't like a really popular name. It was not like unpopular, but it wasn't like trending or anything like that. But it's gained popularity over the years, and I guess it just means that it's a beautiful name and a lot of people like the name, but I don't want everyone to have my little girl's name. I can't do much about it. It's just a beautiful name and a lot of people have caught on to this name. Good for you, Germany. You've got good taste and you know a good name when you hear it. Okay, so the 5th most popular baby name right now for little girls here in Germany is Sophia. And so in Germany they pronounce it more like
Sophia.
Sophia. But it's still similar. Sophia, Sophia. It sounds very similar. You guys are probably so sick of hearing me say beautiful, but all of these names, these top 10 German baby names are just so my style. I love all of them. So Sophia, absolutely gorgeous. I just think Sophia is a beautiful, timeless name. It sounds beautiful on an older lady or, you know, a teenager or like a gorgeous little baby. Sophia, you just can't go wrong with that name. And I've even had this on other baby name lists I've talked about as being like one of my favorite names. So when I was growing up in New Zealand, Sophie was really popular. There were lots of Sophies in my school and there wasn't a lot of Sophias. There was probably a few, but not a lot. But yeah, I think that Sophia is more of like a modern version of Sophie. I think they're both really pretty, but like the Sophia, I think it adds a little bit more of like a modern touch, and it's also very classic. And when I say modern, Sophia is a very old-fashioned name, but it's just a name that's really in right now. Once again, very international, can be used everywhere, all around the world. Okay, I need to move a little bit faster because I've got so many more names to get through. So the 6th most popular name in Germany right now is Lena. And Lena for me is a very German name. So this is kind of like the odd name out on the list in my opinion. I've only ever in my whole life met one Lena in New Zealand, but I have met a lot of Lenas and heard of a lot of Lenas here in Germany. And I think it's such a cute name. It's very short and sweet and just a really cool name in my opinion. And so Lena, I've met a lot of Lenas like my age and older, and so it's obviously a name that has come back around in Germany, or maybe it's just like never gone out of fashion. Lena's just a super popular name in Germany. So I pronounce the name Lena, but in Germany they pronounce it Lena, according to Google Translate. Okay, so number 7 on the list is Anna. And we say Anna in New Zealand, Anna in Germany, but it's still a super international name. It's just a beautiful, classic, traditional name, Anna. Once again, I love it. I love all of these names. So Google Translate pronounces it Anna. And this name would just work anywhere in the world, in my opinion. Well, at least in any English-speaking country. It's a very international name. It's very short and sweet and pretty, and I think it's a really nice choice. Okay, so the 8th most popular baby girl name in Germany is Leah. And in German, they pronounce it Leah. So it's got more of like a flow to it, Leah, and we would say Leah. And Leah, like, what's not to love about this name? Again, it is very short and sweet and beautiful and international, and love the name Leah, just absolutely gorgeous. And God, guys, I promise I don't love every single name in the world. I just happen to really love all of these names on this list.
Sorry guys, unfortunately my camera cut out for a moment, but number 9 on the list is the name Mila. And what is there not to love about this name? It is absolutely adorable, very short, very sweet, very international, such a cute name.
Okay, so number 10, the 10th most popular baby girl name in Germany right now is Ella. So that's how I pronounce it. Google Translate pronounces it in German. Ella. And the name Ella, again, it's a very international name. It can be used anywhere. It sounds beautiful. It is a very, very old-fashioned name, and it's come around, like it's done like a full, like massive circle and come back. And so when I was a kid, you didn't hear of many Ellas at all in New Zealand. I had like one Ella in high school, but it was quite an unusual name at the time. And in Germany, obviously it's a name that people are loving right now, and I can see why, because it's beautiful. Okay, so moving on to the 10 most popular baby names here in Germany for little boys. And my little boy Matteo, his name did not make the list, which I am really happy about, because there's not going to be like 10 other Matteos at a school. Anyway, this list, like, I'm not as in love with some of these names as I was with the girls' names, but I think they are all really nice names. Okay, so the first name on the list list is Ben. So short and sweet, simple Ben, and super cute. Just a really cool name, Ben. So Google Translate, they pronounce it Ben. So I would say Ben, and Google Translate pronounces it Ben. So I guess it's kind of like a little nickname for Benjamin in English or Benjamin in German. Once again, super international, Ben. You can't go wrong, Ben. Whatever country you go to, I'm sure people will just accept your name. So a really handsome name, I like it. And once again, this name was just so popular when I was growing up in New Zealand. Okay, so the second most popular baby name in Germany right now is Paul. So in Germany, they pronounce it Paul, and in English we say Paul. So Paul was very popular in New Zealand growing up, when I was growing up. It's my brother's name. It's just a very like standard name, and I just wasn't expecting the name Paul to be on the top of the list, like number 2 in Germany. I don't know why. To me it sounds like quite an old-fashioned name. I don't know, it's not a name that I would have thought maybe would have like come back, and it's nice, like it's a nice name. It's just, for me, it still sounds a little bit old-fashioned. I don't know why. It just surprised me a lot. So another international name, but I guess people in other countries, like English-speaking countries, they'd struggle with the pronunciation, like the German pronunciation, which obviously it doesn't matter. So number 3 is Leon, and in German they pronounce it Leon. And Leon, it's a nice name. I don't think it's used much in New Zealand. I haven't met a lot of Leons in New Zealand. I've met a lot of little Leons in Germany, and so Germans seem to really love the sound of the name Leon, and I can see why. I think it's nice. I think it is a good, like, solid choice for a boy's name. Okay, so number 4, these names were a tie. They came in at 4th equal, and these names are Finn and Flynn. So I was so surprised by this. To me, these do not sound like German boys' names. Maybe I am wrong, but to me, like, the names Finn or Flynn sound like names that you would hear in New Zealand, like a surfy guy called Flynn, or like in Australia. I lived in Australia for a couple of years. You met a lot of Finns and Flynns, and I love the names. I think they are really, really cool names. I think I might like Flynn better. I don't know, Finn's also pretty cool. And so I was kind of happy to see these names on the list. Cool names, really sort of modern sounding, and I like them. And again, international. Okay, so the 5th most popular name here in Germany for little boys is Elias. Google Translate pronounces it Elias, but to me that sounds a little bit wrong. It sounds like a little bit too sort of robot-y. I think it's pronounced more like Elias. This name, it doesn't surprise me that it's like the number 5 here in Germany, because I've met so many little boys called Elias, but it's not a name that you would hear much at all in New Zealand, and we pronounce it Elias. So this name was kind of the odd one out on the list in the way that it's not as international. Still a really nice name. It's just not a name that you would hear very much in other countries other than Germany. I don't know, maybe other countries have the name Elias, but to me it's a very German name. Like, I think Elias is very German. Okay, so the 6th most popular baby boy's name in Germany right now is Jonas, and I probably pronounced that terrible, so this is how Google Translate pronounces it. Jonas. In English we would pronounce it Jonas. Not a popular name at all in English-speaking countries, well, at least not in New Zealand, so definitely not as international as some of the other names on the list. Jonas, I don't know how I feel about it. I think I kind of like it. Jonas, I'm just not used to the name. Okay, so number 7 on the list is Louis, which is really hard for me to pronounce. This is how Google Translate pronounces Louis. So we would say Louis in English, and it's definitely not a popular name, Louis, in English-speaking countries. So the name Louis, obviously that's really hard for me to pronounce as a native English speaker. To me it sounds like a very old-fashioned German name. I can imagine an old German man called Louis. So obviously it's done a couple of circles, maybe 3 or 4 or 5, and come back. And it's really trending here in Germany right now, the name Louis. It's kind of a cool name. It's got something. I quite like it. Okay, so number 8 on the list is Noah. So Google Translate pronounces it Noah. And the name Noah is really, really popular in New Zealand. A lot of little boys are called Noah, and obviously in Germany too. So this is a name you can't go wrong with. It is a name that would work all over the world, and it is just a really lovely boy's name. I think it's quite a beautiful boy's name, I think. So it's a biblical name, obviously, and I can see why it's in the top 10. I think it's a really nice name. Okay, so number 9 on the boys list is Felix. So that's how I would pronounce it. In Germany they pronounce it
Felix.
Felix, pretty much the same. Felix is such a cute name. I love it. It's very German. I think Felix is very German, but it's not super popular in New Zealand or anything, but I think it's a really cool name. I definitely think if New Zealanders catch on to the name Felix, it's going to become quite popular because it's a really cool name. And I'm pretty sure it's a very old German name. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's also a name that has really come back. So Felix, I've seen a lot of little Felixes running around, and I think it's a great name. It was actually on the list, our list for boys' names when we were naming Mateo. So Felix, I don't know if it would have worked for us. Okay, so the 10th most popular baby boy's name in Germany is Lucas. And I probably totally butchered the pronunciation of that. So this is how it's pronounced on Google Translate.
Lucas.
Lucas. And we would say Lucas in English, and it's a great name. I love this name. A little bit hard for non-native English speakers to pronounce the German way, Lucas, but it's a cool name, and Luca is also really popular. We considered using Luca for Mateo. Lucas, I think it's been popular in Germany for a long time. So I've met a lot of like older guys with the name Lucas and a lot of like little boys, and it's obviously a name that Germans really like. Whoa, okay, so this video was actually a lot longer than I was expecting. So many names to get through. So basically I just wanted to share my opinion as a New Zealander on the really popular baby names here in Germany. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your favorite names from this list were, or do you like these names? Do you not like these names? And I'd love to hear your opinion in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. I would love you to subscribe to my channel, and feel free to follow me on Instagram. I post lots of photos of my life here in Germany and beyond, and I will see you again really soon. Bye!